Hey, how you doing? My name is Pablo Malco. My Life Unedited with another little daily reminder. Today I want to say, stop penalizing people for their mistakes, especially children. There is deep-ridden trauma in feeling like you have to walk around on eggshells around certain people because you don't want to upset them or because nothing you ever do is right or good enough for them. The reason that we feel alone sometimes is because we feel that we're so perfect and others are not. And even though we say every day, I'm not perfect, your actions show different. Saying I'm not perfect is another way of avoiding the fact that you do wrong things, maybe even intentionally, and you don't want to take the responsibility for them. Because if you take the responsibility for them, it can make you feel bad about yourself and make you realize that you're a bad person. If you knew you weren't perfect, you would have more patience for other people when they make mistakes. Because you understand that as human beings, we all make mistakes. Nobody's perfect. Yeah. There are people out there that are just jerks, assholes, nasty people that do things on purpose. But no matter how mad you get, you can't change their misery. You can't fix somebody, especially somebody that you don't know. So what good is it for you to hold on to this anger because somebody else made a mistake? What I'd like to challenge you and ask you is, what happened to you today? What happened to you this morning? What happened to you last night? What happened to you last year? And what happened to you in your childhood? Because you start asking those kind of questions, you'll realize that that person's mistake triggered something else in you. A lot of the times when people's mistakes that are harmless, doesn't kill anybody, doesn't hurt anyone, it just annoys us, sometimes it's because the person doesn't look like us. And we just have less tolerance for different races of people. Sometimes, for no reason. We just have this grudge against them. And, they say about grudges, like having a grudge on somebody is like drinking poison and waiting for them to die. I am not trying to excuse careless behavior. Being angry about it and holding on to that is never going to give you the internal freedom that you aspire to have, which I assume most of us aspire to have. I don't think many of us want to be unhappy and miserable all day, every day of our lives. Even though some people look like they want to prove me wrong, I'm pretty sure that most of us don't want to live that way. You can't expect to live a happy life while you have hurt, pain, anger, and jealousy jailed inside of you. If somebody makes a mistake that troubles you that much, I think the thing to do is to go back and figure out why that little mistake triggers you so much. Some mistakes weigh heavier than others, I understand that. But sometimes it's just little things that flicks that switch in us that makes us do things that we will regret later. Something that may possibly burden our lives because somebody made a little mistake and you had to go prove that you were tougher than that person, and somebody gets hurt or something goes wrong and something we can't take back. So before all that happens, let's stop and figure out what was the trigger that made that little thing such a big deal. Somebody did something to you in your past that have you acting out and doing it to other people today, and that is something that you don't want to be, but you can't help it because this is all that you know. It's a valid reason, but it's not a good excuse. You can't be really happy and really mad at the same time. One of them will be inauthentic. If happiness is the goal, then maybe you need to really work on your anger. Understand the real root of what's ticking you off so often. Why are you always so angry? I'll give you a pro tip. Instead of saying, what's wrong with that person? Maybe just stop and think, I wonder what happened to that person to make them act out like this, to make them do something so carelessly, to make them so unaware of the danger that they're bringing to other people. And maybe if you thought of it like that, you'd have a little bit more compassion and a little bit more understanding. A lot of us don't do things intentionally to piss people off. Some of us do, but a lot of us don't. A lot of us have nervous conditions because when we were kids, everything we did had to be done now and right away, and we felt like we were always rushed, or we felt like we were never good enough, or we felt like everything we did was wrong. Some people are dealing with that every day. You're dealing with that every day. But you choose to cover it up and bury it with anger, false pride, alphaness, or whatever drug or concoction that you take to bury those feelings. But if you were to stop, be honest with yourself, open yourself up to answers and possibilities, you will be able to find the happiness that you so desire. We are not our mistakes. Good people make mistakes too, even you. Try to get to the bottom of what's ticking you off. Not other people. It's something inside of you. My name is Pablo Malco, My Life Unedited, with another little daily reminder.